Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Rabbit Motorworks. Today we're back with the bug and we're doing more work on it. Today's project is going to be bleeding the brakes. It's kind of like the last bastion of fluids that has not yet to be changed. So 15 years on the old brake fluid, probably good for a service. So stay tuned. So one of the cool things that came in the mail today was the tab for the month on the license plate. So I'm gonna get that put on there as well too. And we're getting close to registering the vehicle with the DMV and getting everything all set. For some reason it fell off the records and it's not showing, so we're gonna have to drive it in and have them do make sure that it's the car that is the car on their record. So one of the things that they've got with California is this thing called Year of Manufacture program. I don't know if you guys are aware of it or not, but 63 they actually didn't have a sticker. And so what you can end up doing if you want, can still use the original plates on any California vehicle. And they can even give you like a separate tab down here to put a year sticker for current registration, or you can put it here as well too, it doesn't matter. But I thought it was cool to at least keep the same retro month, as in California the stickers are red from I think up into the 80s, and then they went over to blue for the month. So but originally on California plates, little factoid, they never had a month sticker, and it actually used to alternate year by year. And so you would put the previous year on the other current one, and then they went over to month conversion in the 80s. So little factoid for everybody if you're interested in that. But yeah, year of manufacture is a cool thing that California recognizes some of the older plates in history. So and there we go. There's the new sticker. So that's great. So now we'll be ready to go. That looks pretty original looking now. Every little detail counts, right? Okay guys, so we've got the car up on jack stands, and I started looking at the brake. So the cool thing is the brakes were completely overhauled back in about 2008. So you can see that it's got new hoses, it's got new wheel cylinders. You can tell that they've definitely taken apart and done everything. The cotter pin looks nice, and looks like a really tight, nice job. In the front, same thing, newer hose, newer wheel cylinder as well, and I'm sure the bearings have been packed. And there is quite a collection of crud on the front of some of the front end here, and that's just years and years of grease. It looks like there's a little bit of rub happening there. So inside of this car is it's Californian, so for the most part, I mean, everything is not so bad as far as rust. One of the things that I did notice, however, is, and I think I showed it in a previous video, was some of the repair that had been made to the floorboard. But if you look up here, it's pretty chewy. To quote Mortsky's repair, it's pretty chewy. So I think I'm gonna have to eventually put in a new floorboard and weld something in on that. But anyways, there's always more projects to do. But so let's get cracking on the brakes. Here's the master. Well, I shouldn't say the master cylinders under the front, but the here is the reservoir for the brakes, at least. And no surprise. Well, that's not too bad, actually. I've seen worse. It looks like a little bit of root beer, but so it's definitely old. And the master cylinder is right in here, and that looks like it did not get changed, unless they took it apart, but I highly doubt it. So just looking at some of the stuff in there, that's the fuel line that I replaced back in one of the earlier episodes. If you haven't seen that, you can go watch that. I'm just kind of checking out this side as well too. Looks like a lot of things have been greased, and grease sometimes holds stuff together pretty well. And then there's the wheel cylinders on that side too, so it's going to be easy peasy getting those things apart. It looks like there's a little bit of rust going on here with a hole kind of coming through a little bit. I'm not sure what that's about, but on the inner part, so that might need to be repaired. Yeah, other than that, again, pretty Californian. There is some rust down here in the corner too, or in the door, and I think that's just because the door seal's leaking. So that's something I could probably use some feedback on from you guys. So if you get a chance, if you want to mention something in the comments about what you think I should be tackling next and what kind of order after some of these projects. I was looking at the interior too and wondering what to do. I think doing the door panels is a good idea, and then I think definitely the carpet, because I think that goes hand in hand with the floorboard. The headliner is great, except for that one sun-drenched area in the back. And I was almost thinking about maybe just doing the carpet kit and bringing it up to that, but then it gets into, if you do the headliner, then you got to take out the glass, and you know, if you look at some of the rubber on this too, it's pretty tired as well. So and then of course the inner door sweeps and things of that nature. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear some feedback from you guys. If you got any comments, thoughts, questions as I start tackling some more projects, what you guys would like to see. So, but yeah, let's dig into bleeding the brakes. Okay, so I don't know what you guys use for catching stuff, but I found this awesome Schwaben liter catch bottle. It's nothing more than a thing, and it's got a nice little lug nut holder thing on there, and then you kind of put the deal on here and crack the bleeder screw. So just like that fits on there. So we'll start doing that and pumping some fluid out and do a little time lapse. Okay, we got some nice dark fluid coming out in the bottle here, and that's what we want. We want that old fluid out of there. So I'm gonna keep pumping some more and then check the reservoir, make sure we got enough fluid in there. So let's do that too. So, and there we go. Put a little strobe on there, get to, yeah, it's pretty empty. Ooh, there is some crud in the bottom there, so hopefully that'll flush out too. enough. Okay, that's gone down considerably. And our fluid in this line is looking much clearer. So that's good. A couple more pumps for good measure. That's the cool thing about these brake bleeders, though, is you can do this as a one-man job without having to worry about finding somebody to help pump the brakes for you. Cool. All right. So you go from the farthest from the master cylinder first, and then work your way up. So that means this one in the back is the next candidate. And we'll get one of our trusty lug nuts here. That's the cool thing I like about this thing, is it just, otherwise you're always messing around trying to figure out. I used to use like pop bottles and glass jars, all kinds of contraptions. So, okay, the cool thing is that these things just, these brake line bleeder screws, they just open up super easy. No rust here. All right, let's just top up our brake fluid. And now we'll pump some. So this is interesting. It was actually building some pressure. Now it's moving better. It's almost like it felt like something was in the line. You see the air coming through. So I'm going to top up again. It's looking pretty clear. I'm going to give it 2 more pumps and then we'll go to the front. Okay. Just a snug. Okay. Cool. Next, we will walk around to this one. As we get in the front here. There we go. Just make sure our deal is all Okay. Looks clear. And so let's clamp that off. Okay. And let's move over to the driver's side. There we go. Man, they're like hand tight. Look at that crud. Black stuff coming out of there. You always think about that when you're driving down the road. And you wonder every time you're pushing the brake pedal what you're pushing. That's a good indicator of why you want to change your brake fluid. Get the box end on it. Okay, let's check the fluid. Just to take a look at that. We got a nice clean fluid in there. There is some stuff in the bottom of it. But I might have to go bleed it a second time. But let's check the pedal. Okay, there's our pedal. It's good. So brake bled completion. I got a little bit of crud in the master cylinder, but I think what I'm going to do is drive it a little bit, just, you know, move it around, use it. And the good thing is there's good fluid in there, and what I can do the next time is bleed it out and keep flushing it. So the big thing was just trying to get a large chunk out of it. You can see some of this carpet in here, though. It's pretty trashed, as I was talking about earlier. I think that's definitely a future project. One of the other things I was looking at too is we're getting some seepage coming out of the transaxle. I double checked the axle boots just to make sure that they're nice and taut, and they are, but I got a feeling that there's other seepage coming out of some of these parts and these plates as well too. So yeah, as we did a good job trying to at least get this thing somewhat cleaned up, but I think eventually the transaxle is going to have to come out and get resealed. The other thing I did too is I kind of tightened up the oil strainer. I didn't have the nut, I guess, tight enough, but it was starting to seep a little bit. Just putting some cardboard on the floor and just seeing where things were dripping, but yeah, that's a straight drop from the ground there, so hopefully that buttons it up. But yeah, just a couple more little things to tighten up on. But I think we'll get the wheels back on this thing and take it for a test drive. maybe we'll take you guys along. So other things you start to run into as you're starting to work on something. These are two different tires, two different brands I should say. On this side, this is a Kumho and this is like a Nanking. I think Kumho is a pretty good tire. I don't know about Nanking. But you can see the way that those are positioned here is that Kumho's on the back on the driver's side and Nanking on the front. And mismatched on this side. So I'm gonna, I think, put the Kumho's on the back and then these Nankings on the front, just to make sure that we got two brands, front and rear. And that's another thing we'll do as well. Let's get these babies back on. Okay, let's go for a spin. Oop. Just needs to be driven. There we go. Our small little side mirror. She's traveling quite nicely now. Fourth gear. Fire station. that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, appreciate all the support. And if you've got any comments about the car projects, like I mentioned, put them down in the comments. I'd like to hear some feedback. What you guys think we should do as far as some other projects that you'd like to see. Please consider subscribing if you'd like. Turn on your post notifications. Like the video. And tell your friends about Rabbit Motorworks, as we're hoping to continue to keep growing the channel. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.